Anyway, welcome back to this after the race I do every Monday, right? Up to the Jeddah Grand Prix. Was it an interesting one? Well, we had some action on track thanks to a couple of things that happened. Charles Leclerc's penalty, Verstappen's problem in the qualifying, right? So let's see what happened during the race. This is the grid, of course, as we all know. Perez in the pole position, Alonso second. And as you can start to see here, he is outside of his grid position, which meant that he had a penalty afterwards. But anyway, the start of the race, we can see Alonso overtaking Perez, Russell overtaking Sainz, and this is Stroll, Ocon, Hamilton, Piastri, which so far is a very good surprise, and I think he's keeping the McLaren kind of in the position. I don't know what the hell is happening to Norris, but anyway. We saw Stroll humiliating Carlos Sainz, which is one of the disappointments of the season so far. And not only that, he's also dragging his teammate down. But anyway, in a corner that is a kind of a high-speed corner, and overtaking on the outside is a little bit difficult. Stroll did it. I mean, this is a humiliation for Carlos Sainz. Anyway, this is the penalty the point why Alonso got the penalty. Outside of the starting box. The same mistake Ocon did just one Grand Prix before in Bahrain, right? Same penalty, 5 seconds. At least the FIA, so far this season, they are being consistent with the penalties. Later there will be another penalty. Let's talk about that later. But anyway, Perez regaining the position. As you can see here already, Leclerc and Verstappen started to gain positions a little bit slowly, right? We can see Leclerc overtaking Hamilton. We can see Verstappen overtaking Hamilton, which started with a hard tire. You can see here, hard tire. I don't know why they did this decision, but it was really bad. I mean, everybody else was faster than him. He was suffering a lot. I don't know if there had not been a safety car after this incident. Perhaps the strategy could have paid off. I honestly don't know. But anyway, and this Stroll provoked a safety car. A safety car after he made a pit stop, after Sainz, Leclerc, and some other drivers made a pit stop, but Alonso didn't. Was this on purpose? Again, I don't know. Singapore 2008. I really don't think they were going to do something like this. But I want to speak about this, and I think I will do a video about this in another time this week. Stroll parked the car in a place where it was safe. I mean, there was a barrier. I couldn't find an image for this, even though during the race it was shown from the helicopter. The car was parked in a safe place. Why do you pull a safety car when the car is parked in a safe place? You are damaging the whole race for everybody. I mean, this is something that they do in the USA in the IndyCar, for example. When there's somebody is retiring or so, they always put out the safety car so they can regroup the pack. The people who made the pit stop already lost a huge amount of time thanks to this incident. And again, this was parked in a safe place. There was a barrier protecting the car. There was no possibility of an accident in this place. Why they pulled the safety car? This is a mystery for me. I mean, it's completely useless. And this doesn't make sense. So for me, the FIA, yes, consistency with the penalties. No, for this kind of actions. It's horrible. I don't understand. This is you destroy the competition. But anyway, of course, Perez, Alonso, and everybody went into the pits. Alonso's position got saved. He had a 5-second penalty. Let's not forget. He got saved because of this. Because of the safety car, they save like 10 seconds. I don't know how much it is right now, but they save a lot of time. So Perez, Verstappen, for example, Leclerc pit before, Verstappen didn't. Verstappen remained in the 4th position when he came out of the pits. So huge gain for him. I mean, I don't know. Is it luck? Is it... I don't know. Anyway. And this is the replay of Hamilton overtaking Sainz, right? Verstappen overtaking Russell. by the way, pay attention to this. Leclerc and Sainz. Leclerc apparently was faster than Sainz, but Ferrari once again did not allow Leclerc to go through, even though Leclerc asked for it. Maybe it's too early in the championship and Leclerc has one DNF while Sainz doesn't. I don't know. Alonso, I think he let Verstappen go because the difference in the speed at the end of the straight was huge. And I don't think, for example, when Perez overtook Alonso at the beginning of the race, there was not such a big difference in speed. So I think Alonso let go of Max in order to protect himself from Russell. Russell and Hamilton that were coming from behind, and let's not forget that at the end of the race they were in that kind of like 5-second gap. But anyway, Verstappen went into the second position, and that is how it remained. And then we saw some mechanical issues. The first was Stroll, now it was Alexander Albon with some brake failure leading to his DNF. We saw Zhou Guanyu overtaking Logan Sargent on the outside of the first corner, even though then he had the inside, which is a move that we didn't see very often in this Grand Prix. Also, I was checking F2 and F3 races, and some drivers were trying this kind of stuff. But usually you go into inside in the first corner and try to keep the outside in this corner, as Logan Sargent is doing here, because the next corner is to the left. So anyway, yeah, Zhou Guanyu did a very nice overtaking there, but not for the points, unfortunately. We can see here that Max Verstappen was complaining on the radio towards the end of the race about some noise in the car, that something was wrong. And apparently, if I'm not mistaken, he was complaining about the drive shaft. Same drive shaft that left him dry in the qualifying. He finished the race. I mean, he finished second. But if there was really a mechanical failure, or it was something in his mind, he was afraid that something was going to fail again. Sometimes drivers do feel this. I don't know, but he finished the race anyway. So if there was something wrong with the car and he finished second, wow, amazing, right? I mean, Alonso here you can see it's 13 seconds, but in the end of the race it was even more. So I don't know. By the way, at this point of the race, I think Leclerc tried to overtake Sainz and he couldn't, so he complained to the Ferrari on the radio, and they only say copy or understood, which is how they usually reply in the Ferrari pit wall, right? We saw Hamilton, for example, with the mediums trying to go to the end of the race for almost 30 laps, which is kind of a lot. And this is more or less how the race is gonna finish from this point on. We saw Magnussen, as I said, usually you go in the inside in the first corner, overtaking Yuki Tsunoda for the last point of the race. Both of them locking the brakes, but still, Tsunoda, who by the way has one of the worst cars in the grid, was hanging on quite well to the podium until this happened, and then he lost it. I mean, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and then Magnussen this time won, right? But anyway, victory for Sergio Perez. Second was Verstappen, and Alonso was third. Even though, as you can see here, there was a 10-second penalty applied to him, because when he came in for those 5 seconds that he got for being in the wrong position box in the start, when you are serving those 5 seconds, you are not allowed to touch the car, any mechanic, right? And as you can see here, all of them are waiting like a hunter for his prey, right? However, apparently, I don't know if this guy is touching the car or not, which in theory nobody can touch the car during those 5 seconds, but this guy, from this view, looks like he's touching the car. If you watch the video, looks like he actually is in contact with the car. Apparently, Aston Martin complained, and they showed another proof that nobody touched the car, so they gave the position back to Alonso. But this should be revised if the mechanics should be allowed on the car or around the car during this time penalty. Because how can you be sure that nobody's touching the car? I mean, I don't see anybody from the FIA here checking. But anyway, this is before the penalty was revoked at the end of the race, right? But anyway, we have Perez, we have Verstappen, who took the fastest lap at the end of the race, the last lap, to try to remain the title championship advantage by 1 point over Sergio Perez, right? Because they both won one race and second in the other one. But Max Verstappen has an extra fastest lap. We have Alonso on the podium, George Russell 4th, Hamilton 5th, Carlos Sainz in a very disappointing 6th, Charles Leclerc, which I think got quite damaged during the safety car, 7th, Ocon, Gasly, and Kevin Magnussen. Alpines, both of them in the points in this one. Looks like this is going to be more or less their position. They are not as close as to the top 4, but they are there somehow. And we saw Kevin Magnussen getting the last point. Tsunoda 11th, Hülkenberg, Zhou Guanyu, Nick De Vries, Piastri, fighting with Lando Norris, which at the end he got him. Logan Sargent, Norris, Bottas, Albon, and Stroll, with only 2 DNFs in this race. Right, and this is the championship, which let me try to do something. I don't know if I can move this. Maybe I can. I don't know if you can see it, but anyway. Max Verstappen 1 point ahead of Sergio Perez. We have Alonso in 3rd with 30 points. We have Sainz, Hamilton, Russell, right? Lance Stroll, Charles Leclerc with only 6 points, which you have in more. But we also what happened in Bahrain. We have Bottas, Ocon, Gasly, Magnussen, and Albon so far scoring all the points. Right, let's put it back in position. And let's go back to the race prediction. What did I guess? Well, I thought Max Verstappen was going to make the pole position, and let's be honest, he was going to be the one in pole position on Saturday had he not have the problem with the drive shaft. The race results, well, Alonso, I guessed he was going to be on the podium. These two were obviously changed thanks to the drive shaft problem on Saturday for Max Verstappen. Sainz continues to disappoint me. I put him 4th, which he should have been 4th, but for some reason he is not performing. Hamilton 5th, which I guessed. We have Stroll at DNF, Russell, Gasly, and Ocon. They were changed, and Valtteri Bottas, which apparently had some problem with the car, but also was kind of disappointing all weekend long with Zhou Guanyu ahead of him. And let's solve the quiz. Who was the driver with the penalty? Well, the answer was clearly Charles Leclerc. Anyway, the next Grand Prix is in Australia, so I will see you there. I will make some couple of videos of points and stuff, and see you. Take it easy.